Hi, in this video, we are going to learn about DataFrame index. Now, before we proceed in this video, let's understand how index help us to create an effective way to access the data from DataFrame. Now, over here, I have imported pandas and then I have created one Python dictionary with this data where I have employees IDs, employees name, language and department. Now using pd.dataframe and passing this dictionary, I'm creating a data frame here. So now let's look into this particular data frame. And we have this particular data frame and you can see in the left side, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. This is nothing but index. So if you wanted to verify, I'll call df.index, then I should get this value. That's saying like it's a range from 0 till 3. Okay. Now, however, this index is not going to help much. Why? Because if I wanted to access one particular employee, if I'll say df.log and passing 0, that means I will get first employee's informations, right? However, employee ID will be better index in this scenario because this is related to the employees. And if I'll pass employee ID and if I can get the details about that particular employee, it will be more useful and it will create more meaning than 0, 1, 2, 3, isn't it? So now let's change the index to employee ID. And for that, I have to say df.set index. And here I have to pass this column name, that is empid. And if I will execute this code, you can see index has been changed here. But this is nothing but a preview. If I'll see the original data frame, that is df, still we should get the old index over here. This is a cool way because without even changing the original data frame, we can see how this command will going to change this particular data frame. Now, if we see like, okay, this looks okay for me, and I wanted to make this change to the original data frame, then I can say in place equal to true. And this will change the data frame. Now, if I re-execute this df command, then I can see original data frame has been changed. Now, if I wanted to access the data, I can say I wanted to get the data for 104. And here I can see information about Dawn. Now, similarly, I can change to any other employee ID and I can get their corresponding information. Now let's look into multi-index feature where we have more than one column which is part of the index. And for that, you see this particular data, and I wanted to query based on the department and language so that I will get to know how many developer I have, or if I will query based upon the language in particular department that I can do, or even I can directly query how many people who know particular language. And for that, I need to set this index based on these two columns, that is department and language. And for that, what we have to do is again use the set index command. And this time, as we have more than one column, so I'm going to use list. It will be first will be department and second will be language. Close this list. I'm just going to replace into the original data frame, so in place will be true. Let's execute this code, and now let's look into this particular data frame. And over here you can see we have department and language as an index, and then we have the employee name here. Now if I wanted to access the data, let's say I want to know how many developers are there. So developers, and I can query. I can see we have 3 developers. And if I wanted to see, because this is a multi-index, I wanted to know how many Scala developers are there. You can see we have 2 Scala developers. So wait a second, we are getting performance warnings. This is because this data what we have, it's not the data is not sorted on index. That is the reason why we are getting this particular warning. So let's do one thing. We can say df dot sort index, and then I will say in place true. This will sort our data based upon the index. Now if I'll re-execute this query, we didn't get any warning because now data has been sorted out. If I wanted to verify, so re-execute this code, and you can see it has been sorted out. Now we have developer and all the developer here, then quality assurance and all the quality assurance over here. Did you notice one thing, that employee ID is missing here? The reason that employee ID was indexed earlier, and without reset we set a new index on department and language. So that way we lost employee ID column. Now let's recreate this data frame, and this time what we are going to do is, first we'll reset the data frame, and then we will create a new index on department and language. So if I look into this data frame now, you can see we have default index here. Then I'm going to set employee ID as index, in place true, let's see this data frame again, and we have employee ID as index over here. Now what we'll do is, first we'll do the reset so that we can go back to the previous data frame, that is this one. For that, df dot reset index. Okay, looking good. So in place equal to true. And now if I look into this data frame now, we should be getting the old index here. Now if I'll change the index on department and language, now we should get employee ID also here. All right, so make sure like when you are changing the index, before that do a reset of that particular index, and then you can create a new index. That way you will not lose any data. Now let's look into some more feature of multi-index. Let's say we have this data frame, and I wanted to sort this particular data based on second level. So this is first level, the second level. So I wanted to sort it on language. For that, what we have to do is df dot sort index, and here I have to pass label equal to language. Let's look into the preview, and we can see it's sorting the data on language. Okay, if I will change it to department, then data will be sorted based on the department value. Now if I wanted to change this value, I mean I want language in the first place and then the department. For that we have to swap this index. Very simple. We can say swap level and pass 0 and 1. It should change the first with the second and second with the first. So now over here you can see this particular data frame has language as first level and department as second level. And one more interesting thing is that let's say I want to search this data, and based upon the second level on the language I wanted to select all the employee where they know Scala, and for that what we have to do is df dot cross section. Then I wanted to select which value, Scala, and on which level, it's on language level, right? Language is the second index. So run this code, then you can see we got the records where we have Scala developers. Now in this last part of this video is where we are going to see multiple options to create multi-index. So first is from arrays method, then we have from tuples, from data frame, and the last one is from product. Let's look into all these options one by one. So first is using arrays. So over here if we see we have created one arrays over here, and then we are calling pd.multiindex.from arrays and then passing this particular array over here and passing the names for two index, that is first and second. So let's execute this code, and this arrays index we can see. Now over here you can see this is a multi-index and these are the different values which and the names are first and second. Similarly we can create using from tuples. So again the same arrays I have taken over here and then converting into tuples, and finally we are calling from tuples method and passing this particular tuples data over here, and this way we are creating multi index. So let's execute this code, and now we can call this one just to print this multi-index. Over here you can see we have the multi-index. And third option is where we can first create a data frame, and these are the names like first and second, and after that we are calling from frame and passing this particular data frame over here to create the multi-index. And we can see this one. So this is multi-index which has been created using this particular data frame. Now the last part is it's the cross product which we are going to use here. So we have these two arrays and then we are calling from product. So from product what it will do is it will create a cross product in between these two arrays. So let's execute this code and then we can see the output of this cross product. Product index, and this is the data frame. So first element of the first array, and then it's multiplying with the second array over here, first and second, and then taking the second element and then again multiplying it with first and second arrays. All right. Now if you wanted to use this multi-index whatever we have created right now to the data frame, So let's say this is the data what we have, and if I wanted to create one new data frame, let's call it new data frame, then pd dot data frame, and over here we can pass the data, and then we can say index. Let's pass product index over here. So this way we'll create one data frame with this product index. So let's see this newly created data frame. And over here you can see we have the multi-index, that is first and second, and these are the values and the data what we have defined. Thanks for watching.